This is Ms. Parody, and in this video I'm going to work through a few examples dealing with simplifying expressions. First example is 3 subtract negative 3 over 13 minus 1. So it's really important to remember that we must always first simplify both the numerator and the denominator before we reduce any fractions or do any dividing. So our numerator becomes 3 plus 3, noting that a negative and a negative is a positive. And our numerator simplifies to 6 and our denominator to 12. It's really important also to remember that fractions must always be left in fully reduced form. So both this numerator and denominator can be divided by 6, reducing to positive 1 over 2. Next example, we have negative 2 minus 1 in the numerator and negative 5 minus 1 in the denominator. Numerator simplifies to negative 3 and the denominator simplifies to negative 6. Now here we have to consider a couple of things when reducing the fraction. First thing we'll notice is that 3 can divide into both the numerator and the denominator, reducing the fraction to 1 over 2, but we also have a negative numerator and a negative denominator, meaning that our resulting fraction is a positive. We always have to remember that a negative divided by a negative is a positive, and a fraction is a division or quotient, so the same rules apply. So negative 3 over negative 6 reduces to positive 1 over 2. In this example here, we have 10 minus 3 over 3 minus 8, simplifying the numerator to positive 7 and the denominator to negative 5. The 7 and the 5 themselves cannot be reduced, but we do have a positive over a negative, resulting in an overall negative fraction. So just another rule to remember, that a positive over a negative is equal to a negative. Another example here. We have 0 minus 3 over 13 minus 8. Our numerator reduces to negative 3 and our denominator to 5. This is very similar to the previous example where we had a positive over a negative, making it a negative. In this case, we have a negative over a positive, which results in a negative fraction. Negative 5 subtract negative 5 over 3. Numerator simplifies to negative 5 plus 5, and then again to 0 all over 3. When working with quotients, it's important to remember that the quotient of 0 in any number is always going to be 0. So 0 divided by 3, or 0 over 3, is 0. In the next example, we have an expression where the numerator and denominator are just the reverse of the previous example. So we have a numerator of 3, denominator of negative 5 subtract negative 5, which simplifies to negative 5 plus 5, and 3 over 0. Now, unlike the last example where we had 0 over a number, in this example we have 3 divided by 0. It's not possible to divide any number by 0, so we say that the result is undefined. This expression can't be simplified, it has no value. So brief in summary. If we have a fraction with a negative numerator and a positive denominator, as we do right here, it results in a negative fraction. Similarly, a positive numerator and a negative denominator results in an overall negative fraction. But a negative numerator and a negative denominator, following our division rules, we have a positive fraction. The other two rules is that the quotient of 0 in any number is always going to be equal to 0. So 0 divided by a number is always equal to 0, whereas the quotient of a number in 0 is undefined.